Michael Fassbender, welcome to Late Line.
Thank you very much.
There are some incredible action scenes in Assassin's Creed. What did you do to prepare for the martial arts involved?
Learned how to do a roly-poly. That was, I think, the first step. No, basically it was just, I did as much parkour sort of training as I could in that short time. And then just general sort of fitness levels. Of course, then you sort of work with the stunt team in terms of choreography for the fight sequences, because I want to do as much of that as possible. In fact, most of the fighting would be me, but then to sort of, obviously the high jumps, leap of faith and things like that, we got professionals in to do that.
And did you have a favourite move?
All of it was pretty new to me, to be honest. It's fun being able to run up a wall, which sort of you think to yourself, well, that's not possible, but using, the correct techniques, you make it possible. Also the sort of, double jump from one wall onto another wall where you have to sort of cross a gap. That was, again, jumping from a standing position seemed to me like I'd never make that distance, but it's surprising how you can.
In the movie, your character, Cal, channels one of his ancestors. What attracted you to that idea?
I just love the idea of DNA memory. It seemed to me to make sense in terms of a scientific theory that we carry in our DNA the experiences of our ancestors and the knowledge of our ancestors. So, for example, when you sort of walk into a room or in a part of town where you feel is not safe and the hairs stand up on the back of your neck and you have a sort of almost sixth sense, that sixth sense comes from your ancestors' experience, and it is sort of passed down through their DNA to your DNA, and that's sort of we use an example, I think, in the film where it's like, how do birds know when to migrate? And it's the same sort of thing, what we call instinct. And that for me was a real draw into this whole universe, and why I thought it would translate very well into cinema.
How did you find juggling producing and acting in this film?
With difficulty. I have newfound respect for producers, for sure. It was great, I enjoyed the challenge. It was something that I've wanted to do for a long time in terms of getting my production company up and running and working on varied projects. And it was a lot of work, but very challenging and very rewarding.
Now, gamers will probably have very high expectations of this film. How do you hope they'll receive it?
Well, obviously. It's, I think there's something like 90 million players out there. And they're, gamers are a very passionate audience. So, yeah, we wanted to sort of respect a lot of things that are in the Assassin's Creed universe, like obviously the Animus, this idea of DNA memory, the artifact, the Apple of Eden. But then, we wanted to introduce new things as well, things that, because, a game is a game and a film is a film, they're two very different things. So, in a way, we wanted to break some of the rules of the games and have a, healthy dose of disrespect as well as respect.
Have you played the game?
I have, badly. But obviously when I came on board, I wanted to sort of get familiar with it, so that's when I played it.
So obviously the game has a huge following. How do you think that video games will shape filmmaking in the future?
It's a good question. I mean, the gaming world is such a huge, it has such a huge following. It dwarfs films in a lot of respects. A game will make $3 billion and it's not, the hugest of news, whereas if a film does that, obviously it's, world record breaking. I think it's massive. I think we'll see with the virtual reality perhaps a hybrid between the two worlds where people will participate in a sort of, more participant role in terms of going to the movies.
You've been really prolific in the last few years. In fact, this year you've had 4 films. How do you maintain a sense of balance in your life?
I don't. It's a disaster. I suppose It's just been like that, you know. I got really sort of started to get an opportunity when I was about 30, and I'm almost 40 now. So in the last 10 years, I just felt like I had a lot of appetite and a lot of energy, and just wanted to work. But you know, when I'm in my downtime, I try not to think about movies or work that much. Certainly, if I come home after a day's shooting, I try to sort of unplug and disconnect from it, so that when I come back, I'm as fresh as possible.
You're well known for going to great lengths for a part. Is there anything you would not do for a role?
And you mean in terms of getting the part? That sounds kind of dodgy.
Well, in terms of playing the part.
You know, it's whatever sort of it takes, really. I mean, I don't think I'm that extreme. You know, I just really spend a lot of time with the script. I guess I do. I spend a lot of time doing my homework so that when I arrive on set, I can just have fun and feel pretty relaxed about everything, because you know, certainly the dialogue's not a question, because I've worked on that, and I spent a lot of time with the character and just sort of thinking about things, and a lot of the times I'll write down a biography. So yeah, I mean, I guess I do my homework, but I don't think I wouldn't say I'm like overly method or anything like that.
How to describe Frank?
1, 2, 3, 4!
Well, there's the head, of course.
He never takes it off. You think it's weird? Would it help if I said my facial expressions out loud? Welcoming smile.
It's often said that you play very dark characters in your films, apart from Frank. I mean, that was quite comical. But I've actually seen a YouTube clip of you playing Pen in Bottle with Jimmy Fallon.
2, 3. Go!
Oh, yes.
Will we see more of that side of you in the future?
What, you know, in films or just in general? I'd like to do some comedy. I think, yeah, probably it's time to do that. Yeah, yeah, something that interests me for sure.
Hello, I'm David.
And just briefly, you're reprising your role as David in Alien Covenant. What can fans expect to discover about him?
More comedy. You see, David had comedy moments, didn't he? So I try to bring comedy where I can. I think people will be scared. I think this follow-up, Alien Covenant, I think it's going to have elements of the original Alien, and then it'll have the scope of Prometheus. So yeah, I can't wait to see it. I just saw Ridley there last week, so hopefully I'll get a look at a cut soon. It was a lot of fun filming it, and I think there's going to be a lot of horror and, you know, edge of the seat stuff in this one for sure.
Well, Michael Fassbender, good to talk to you. Thanks for joining Late Line.
Thank you.